It would sound generic and be sort of a blanket statement just to say it's polluted, or it's dirty, or it's gross, or whatever, and those would all be applicable. But I think the best way for me to summarize it is not from just my own perspective, but there was a fishing show that I happened to catch that was basically about fishing within certain city limits, and they came to DC, and there was a guy from the show who walked around asking people on the street, how's the fishing in the area? And just the sheer response, like the shock that people had about even being asked, like, what do you mean fishing in the area? And they just didn't know that there was anything fishable around. But as it pertains to the Anacostia, there was actually just a on the street DC resident who said, well, if I want to catch shopping carts and grocery bags, I think he said specifically, then I'll go to Anacostia. If I want to catch something else, maybe I'll head up the Potomac. The fish that exist in there right now, I don't think, I certainly wouldn't consume. And there's actually, every time you buy a DC fishing license, on the back of the DC fishing license, I should have brought mine in, actually has a warning about consuming any catfish or any carp or any even anything more than a quarter-pound of bass per month. Now to tell you something, on your sport fishing license when it says don't eat these fish, this is a worthwhile thing to focus in on, because it's I believe in kind of starting not small, but starting with digestible pieces, and I think that working to improve the Anacostia is sort of one of those sort of a snowball effect where it's like, oh wow, this was an unsalvageable place, but now look at it, and that can carry into some of the other watersheds and the other tributaries. Clean water and good fisheries and usable natural resources are just good for business. It's a resource that we have that we're not using, and in this economy, we're trying to squeeze every penny out of everything. And why waste a resource? It just doesn't make sense to have a waterway that's around this many people to be in such poor shape that people don't want to use it. I think that it's a matter of, do we want clean water for our, not just for the wildlife, but for our kids and for ourselves, or do we want dirty water that we actually need to keep kids, dogs, and everything else away from?